In a moment, Bhau will speak, but he requested, reverb. I actually
reverb,
requested 2 ghazals, one by me, one by Ira. And as always, you just pick totally at random and then read. And this is from Mayor Gitka, and it's, wait a minute, it's Roman numerals, it's 85. Have the victory of life. There is no strict method for singing your song. Mayor listens to the language of the heart, which is comprised of love. When the flame sings your beautiful song in the heart, it wakes up in the heart after hearing its tune. Let the flame sing the song in the heart. Don't exhibit any outward show, and have the victory of life. Papa.
Unlike Linwood, I'm just picking a shot. Not short, but worse. Solve my problem. Oh, Mayhair, what greatness you have. You do everything for me, and you praise me as if I have done it. What a great beloved you are. You are beyond any imagination. Now I realize why you change your mood every moment. You want to test my faith by seeing whether I long to act according to your every mood. Oh, beloved, I know that you love me more than I love you. I am limited, and you are infinite. But when you shower calamities on me, remember that I have a limited bearing capacity. I don't know why I came out of your court in the beginning. Please, tell me the reason, so that I may correct it and return to your court. I don't know who I am or where I am. I don't know where I am going or what I have to do. Now I am at your feet. Please, solve my problem. Oh, beloved, Bhau is at your feet after passing through the journey of ages. He now realizes that he is quite ignorant. Please help him, because you are all knowledge. Jai Bhau. And now Bhau. I will lean forward. I thought she was going to do it.
Put his hand on.
Avatar Mayor Baba.
PJ.
Avatar Mayor Baba.
PJ.
Avatar Mayor Baba.
PJ. Put a name on it. His name low.
There is now someone. I just want to tell you about silence. The state of God is in perfect silence. And that silence, of course, it is not that he observes silence, but he maintains. It is his nature to remain silent. That is that state where, of course, there is perfect silence and nothing else. But then, when the same one comes in human form, so he, of course, adopts different mediums for his universal work. So human form, sometimes he speaks, sometimes this time, of course, he was observing silence. And this silence he has started for his universal work. This silence was his medium. In 1925, on 10th July, Baba started observing silence. But before that, in 1924, Baba was in Bharucha house in Bombay, and there also he had observed silence for some days. At that time, silence and fast. No one has observed fast as Baba did. 5 months, 6 months, 7 months continuously. He will observe fast, and then at the same time, very energetic. He would just move from place to place. Once in 1924, he was observing fast, and he went to Himalaya. Every day, he would walk 10 miles, 11 miles, 20 miles per day. Just walk. At that time, he would also contact mosques and saints. But that contact was quite different. He would just pass through. He would not touch them. He would not bring them. But it was quite different contact. So once it so happened that there were 2 persons with Baba at that time, and it was Gustafji and Bhua Sahib. Both were very old from the beginning. Bhua Sahib was the one, of course, he was with Baba not for this purpose, but he had come from Iran, and Iran and Baba would help him. So he was as his friend, but then he joined Baba. And then joined Baba, and both were with Baba Gustafji. He was with Sai Baba first, and Sai Baba, when he was with Sai Baba, he would just observe fast. Sai Baba would not ask him whether he ate or he did not eat. Even for drinking water, he has to go nearby stream, and he would take water like this and he would drink. 6 months. And then afterwards Sai Baba dropped his body, and Gustafji came to Upasni Maharaj. He was with Upasni Maharaj, and then Upasni Maharaj himself sent him to Baba. So these 2 were there with Baba, and Gustafji was thinking that he is very close to Baba, and Bhua Sahib was thinking that he was very close to Baba. So they both would fight. Both would fight. And Baba would say that now I have come, this tour is for this purpose, because I have got too much ego. So I would be very happy if these saints and Mahatmas, they would kick me, spit on me. I would be very, very happy to get rid of my ego. It was, Baba would not say anything to to them, but he himself would say that I have got so much ego, and they would fight and fight. But then what happened? They came to one place called Itarsi, that was the junction, and Baba sent them back. He was all alone. It was the only place where Baba was all alone, and what he was doing, still no one knows. Still no one knows. He was also observing silence at that time. But in the forest he would go, and then all alone, about 3 months. What he did there, it is never he opened this secret. So then afterwards he came down to Mehrabad, and Mehrabad also he would observe silence for 7 days, 14 days, he continued. And once, of course, when Padri, one of the Maldi, he was keeping watch, and Baba's, jhopdi, Baba's cottage, hut, you must have seen there at Mehrabad. So Baba would be there and Padri would sit outside. And then, of course, Padri, one day, he was dozing and just he fell asleep. And what Baba did, at that time he was writing. So writing, then of course he wrote selected abuses. You swine, I wanted water. And you were sleeping, all selected abuses. And when Padri got up, he was very, very happy that Baba did not know that I was sleeping. And then when he went near the window, so he got that. Selected abuses, all his blessings. Then of course Baba said that now I would observe silence for 1 year. And the date was fixed. And women Mali, they were in that post office building, 1-room building, all. And Adi's mother, she came and she wanted to clean that room, and she climbed up and she fell down. And then Baba said that now this is the setback, so I cannot observe silence, not next date. So then of course he fixed the date, 10th July 1925. And Mandi, they were just used to thinking that Baba observes silence and then afterwards he speaks. Nobody knew that Baba would continue this silence. So he said, first he announced that I am observing this silence for 1 year. And 1 year, and they were just thinking that Baba, of course, would observe silence for some days and again he would break. So first day, on 9th July, Baba had already given instruction that when he observes silence, what they should do, men mandli, women mandli, everyone. And then at night, he went to women mandli first and then to men mandli. And he said that remember this, I can save you from anything, but not from snake bite. So when you come out come out in the night, then of course you must have flashlight. And what happens? Baba left to go in that hut, and Masaji was the one, Pendu's uncle, Pendu's father, and of course he had joined Baba. So son was with Baba and father was also with Baba. So they were going, and Padri came out, and Padri found the snake. And then of course again Baba came back. He killed the snake, and Baba came back, and Baba says, I had given you warning, now remember, I will not save you from snake bite. I can save you from anything, but not snake bite. And then again he went to women mandi, and everyone thought it was good. That snake came, and that's why because of that Baba came again. Nobody thought that Baba would just continue the silence. Then afterwards he returned to the hut, observed silence. In the morning, Baba was complete silence. In complete silence, he did not say a word, nothing. But at that time he would write. He would write, and he had written manuscript is there, 39 pages, of course, printed very recently. And the rest of 2 volumes are there. It's such a super thing. I don't know whether people will be able to understand it. There are many, of course, intellectuals, they will understand. But it is such a thing, such a sublime thing which he has written. And all these years, of course, people were just thinking about that book. And where did they find it? In the storeroom, grain store. There the book was in the cupboard, manuscript. And still nobody knew about that. Money, of course, money and Iraj, they must have searched. So that cupboard, and it was not in Baba's hand. Only 39 pages were in Baba's hand. And of course, the rest, of course, it is a copy of what Baba had written. So nobody could understand. And then 39 pages which were written Baba's handwriting. So money kept in her cupboard. And then afterwards, it so happened that when money joined Baba, then of course her cupboard was, search was made, and these 39 pages were found in her cupboard. So it is now printed. Nasa one, of course, he has printed there. So, and then the rest, of course, is still. So what happened, I was in San Francisco at that time, and Mehran Jesawala, he phoned me that we have found something and waiting for you. We don't know, we cannot make out who has written this. So I said, when I come there, then of course I will go through it and find out. So when I returned, it was given to me. I read, Baba had said to me that he was giving me 10% of that which you have received in by way of doing nothing and everything. 10% of it, immediately, of course, I could understand that it was from Baba. But original still it is not yet found where is that original. And original, of course, Baba would take always with him wherever he would go. But then when he came here in 1931, he kept his manuscript here. In 1937, he got the manuscript back in England when he had to England. He had been to England, he did not come to America. So someone, of course, brought that manuscript to England, and then it was put in Bombay, one safe. It was kept there. Afterwards, it was in the year 1957. We were in Bombay. The book was kept, manuscript was kept in the name of Ramju, then Kakabaria and Khan Sahib Sarosh Ke Irani. 3 persons. And then 3 persons, of course, they are no more. So in 1957, when we were in Bombay, one day Baba called Ramju. Baba called Ramju, and Ramju did not read Baba's gestures. So that means book. So Baba made this sign, that book, bring it back. Ramju could understand. I told that Baba wants that book should be brought back. And he did. And afterwards, where it is kept, what instruction Baba gave to Ramju, nobody knows. Arach also did not know. And Arach also could not make out that whether it is written by Baba. And they were just waiting for me. And I could know because Baba had given me 10%. He said, I am giving you 10% of that. So in this way, after that 1 year, he was writing, and then he stopped writing. He stopped writing, and then of course it was very difficult to communicate. So there was one Mandi member, his name was Vishnu. So what Baba would do, that newspaper, and he would put the finger on different letters, and it would take long time. So then Vishnu, he prepared the alphabet board, and then alphabet board Baba was using up to 1954. On 8th October 1954, Baba discarded the board. And then only gestures he was using. And of course, never he never wrote, and he never used alphabet board. He discarded the board, and he continued this. And then his silence, it was for his universal work. And his universal work, when we would know that Baba's work is completed, and when completed and he broke his silence, everyone is waiting for that. When Baba would break his silence, different gestures, people of course say that about Baba's gestures. So now I come to the point. What happened on 30th January 1969? Baba was having this, he would get, what you call,
Spasm.
spasm. So, it was just continued during his this universal work, but more and more and more. And at that time, it was really so much that of course 6 persons of the multi, we would be there and we would hold Baba's body and spasm would come. And one day Baba said that when I was Jesus, my crucifixion was only for a day. This time, my crucifixion is every day. Every day I am crucified, you have no idea. He said my bones, I am just making it powder. So 6 persons and still the spasm would come. On 30th January, 24th January, of course, he gave me the instruction about writing his biography. And I would be there at night. And then 30th January, it was such a thing that after months and months, Baba did not take rest, continuous spasm. And he would not be able to take rest. But on 30th January, he took rest for 7 to 9, 2 hours. I was sitting there. Baba asked me to sit there. Don't hold him. I was sitting there. And 2 hours, I was just thinking that now Baba change is taking place. And Baba would be all right now. And at that time, so many visions, one after another. So many visions I would take, I would have. I was also seeing that we are taking Baba's body to Mehrabad. So many thousands of people are coming, weeping, these press reporters are coming. And I was just thinking that Baba's health is now improving. After a long time he is taking rest. And this continuous for 2 hours. Even this trust compound, I would just see the trust compound and I would see that of course I was working there, many persons working under me. And immediately while such thoughts I am getting, he was making preparation. Really speaking, I would not have accepted this trust work. I was quite indifferent towards that work, trust work, knowing fully well that I am incompetent, I must not do such a thing. So, but when I saw this and when I was proposed to take up the trust, still I took 3 days to think about it and decide. So that same thing came before my eyes, which I had seen on 30th January. So then, of course, after 2 hours, 7 to 9, and then what happened? Baba called me, and then spasm started. Spasm started at 10 o'clock. Baba says to me, remember this, I am not this body. Again, at 11 o'clock, he says to me, remember this, I am not this body. But this time, he used that Hindi word, remember this, yaad rakh. This yaad rakh, he just in feeble voice, only these two words, yaad rakh, means remember this. In very feeble voice, he uttered, and I am not sorry. And at 12 midnight, again he says, remember this, not he uttered, just yaad rakh, two words in feeble voice he uttered. And I did not tell anyone. Of course, Nasarwan, he printed something, and when I came to him, so I said, did you hear Baba speaking? And I said, how did you write this? That Baba broke his silence. And I said, did you hear? He said, no. Baba has said, I told him, Baba has said that when he would break his silence, even the stone will dance. Did you dance? He said, no. You remember? And I asked my sister Bhau, did you hear? Did you dance? No. So then why did you write? But it was a fact, I don't know. Why? Afterwards I came to know that was not breaking of his silence. His silence will be broken when the whole humanity will get the awareness. The medium of his work was his silence. So when the awareness will come, and then when I was in hospital, it so happened that there is Rajnish's ashram in Pune. So his followers would come to me. And one day, one of his followers says that Rajni would say that state of silence, that is, no one can come out of this state. So Meher Baba, of course, so many times he said that he would break his silence, and he tried and tried and tried, but he could not speak. And then, of course, I could understand that was the reply, because such thing, he would say, Rajni said that after 7 years of silence, vocal cord stops working, and no one can speak. And that's why Meher Baba tried and tried and tried, but he could not speak. Then I realized why I heard Yaad Rakh. That the reason was that Baba could speak, there was nothing. It was not that because he could not speak, his silence was for his universal work. When his universal manifestation will take place, it will nobody can hear that word, but feel that word. His voice will be felt by each one to a certain degree. If you just hear the voice, you may become that voice. But to a certain extent, the world will hear that, and fortunate you are, those who have come in his contact. So those who have come in his contact, definitely they will hear more. They will hear more, that means more awareness will be there. The world will come. When the world will come, how? Now we just looking towards the world. We are attached to the world. Divine Sun is behind us. We don't see. But his universal manifestation, that is about turned. When about turn, so you will not face the world, you will face the divine sun. Those who will be near the sun, then of course they will have more awareness, then less and less and less, but everyone will have the awareness towards God. Attachment towards the world will become weak. So that time it will be the breaking of the silence. And I just ask Nasavan that if he has any question, he should ask me. But I ask your forgiveness before all, that I just ask you that did you hear stone would dance? So did you dance at the time? So I ask your forgiveness. That was not proper for me to ask this, because I passed through it. And I hope you will forgive me. If you want to ask any question, you may ask about his silence. But silence, that state is the state of God. The perfect silence. Always he remains in perfect silence. When he comes down on earth, he adopts different mediums for his universal work, and silence is one of the things. Now what happens that when we come in this gross world, gross sphere, so there are two things. One is sound and another is noise. Sound, of course, natural impressions, those impressions which are created in response to the wind, who am I? So you hear the sound. But then unnatural impressions means the things which we should not do, we do. So they create noise. So there are two things in the gross sphere, that is sound and noise. But in subtle world, there is no noise. There is only sound. You cannot commit unnatural impressions in subtle world. Subtle world, people, of course, there are those who are experiencing, there are some, they remain so absorbed in their experiences that, of course, they don't want, they think that this is the thing. They have not to progress further. They remain so absorbed. And for them, of course, master, of course, gives the push and they go further. But in mental world, this sound itself becomes the voice of God. Sound and noise we hear only in gross sphere. In subtle world, only sound. But in mental world, voice. And voice, that is the voice of God. You hear the voice and you remain absorbed in that. And that's why Baba said, he has said that God does not listen to the language of the tongue. And what is the language of the tongue? Mantras. We just repeat mantras. Buddhist, of course, mantras. Circle, go in the circle and they go on repeating. But in Baba says that God does not listen to the language of the mind. And what is the language of mind? Meditation, concentration. That too, also he does not listen. God listens to the voice of the heart. And what is that? That is love. So when you are in fifth plane, mental plane. There, of course, that is called Brahmanad, voice of God. You hear on fifth plane. Now Baba has said that this time he would substitute the intellect by intuition. Now intellect by intuition, intuition is on fifth plane. So whether everyone will be on fifth plane? No. Then how? Now just like the poets are there, writers are there, painters are there, artists are there, they get inspiration. Inspiration is experienced in the second plane of the subtle world. So how we have gross consciousness, so how can we hear that? How can we get the inspiration? Inspiration is such a thing when your concentration, whole concentration is on certain thing. Just like writing poem. So you derive inspiration from second plane for the time being. It is not continuous. When you are in second plane, the experience, the inspiration is continuous without a break. But then of course in gross conscious people, how? Just they get for the time being. So also, when of course intellect will be substituted by intuition, the same thing will happen. That we will derive intuition from fifth plane, but it will be for the time being, not continuous. On fifth plane, continuous. Voice of God, nothing else. You just hear voice of God and remain absorbed in that. So, and silence, when you realize God, no language, only silence. That is the silence, perfect silence state. And he remains in perfect silence state, but when he comes in human form for his universal works, any medium which is required, he adopts that and he does that. Anything not so much about silence, but definitely it will happen that when his silence will be broken, even the stone will dance. And how it will dance? That means universal push. So universal push, it will not, he will start dancing. But universal push, it will be just like now, further he will not progress further. Stone will progress further, it will go to vegetable kingdom. So this will be, and that's why Baba said that when I will break my silence, even the stone will dance. That means the universal push to all the kingdoms of evolution of consciousness. Anyone, Nasavan, of course, he is the one who should ask questions, but he says no. But did you forgive me?
No. I just seem to have a bit of a contrary opinion on Baba's breaking his silence. And,
Good.
And we've talked about it in the past. I feel that the very fact that all the people over here who have never ever seen Meher Baba in physical form and are present here today are as a result of Baba's breaking his silence. And I believe that Baba's dropping his body was his breaking his silence, because he was, as a result, able to awaken divinity in the hearts of thousands who have now come to him and have accepted him as God in human form, even though they've never seen him in the physical form. Just a thought.
You are 100% right. All these people who are coming to him, how they are coming? I said that is breaking up his silence means giving the awareness towards God. And it is going on. This is a gradual process. So gradual process, but at the end, when he would just manifest universally, then of course all the people, and at that time whatever awareness we will have, it will be more. It will be more. But you are right 100%. That awareness he is giving. And awareness, that means he is breaking his silence heart to heart. It is just continuous process. And that's why those who have come, so they follow him. How they follow? Because some awareness is there. And that's why they accept him. Really very wise person. I appreciate. Anything?
Bhauji, this is a question that last week I interviewed him and asked him 30 questions and he gave answers to all of them. I just feel that this is a good occasion for all to bear witness to an answer that a question that I'd like to ask you. Since you have spent 50 years with Meher Baba and as an intimate, close companion of his, I'm anxious for all to know, how did Meher Baba give out his discourses, his messages? How did he dictate them? To what extent was the role the Mandali played towards the final dissemination of those discourses and messages? Because at this point of time there has been some controversy that has been swirling around, and we've mentioned it, we've given an article in the last issue of the Globe on this subject. So I'd like you to talk about it, if you may.
Discourses, whatever Baba has given, that it is in his name. Sometimes, of course, he will also put anyone's name. I tell you, in 1961, Baba asked me to translate the everything and nothing into Hindi. And Baba says that it should be very, very interesting. I said, Baba, if it is interesting in English, it will be interesting in Hindi. He said, that I don't know, but this much I now want that it should be very, very interesting. I said, Baba, I will use simple language. But of course, but what you want me, I don't understand. He says, you just think over that. Think over that. So I was, during night walk, I was thinking and thinking, and then I come to the conclusion, why not the whole thing should be put into conversation. And conversation, if I put into conversation, it will become interesting. So the next day, I was working in my room, and Baba came. And Baba came and Baba says that, did you start the work? I said, yes, read out. So I read out. So Baba said, this is the way I wanted you to do. So, of course, and then afterwards he says to me that all these discourses should be versified. I agreed. But one day he said that there should be one prayer in the beginning. And he had given me one line 2 years ago. I could not compose, so I just kept it. And when he said that you should write a prayer, so then of course I remembered that one line he had given. So then 7 couplets I composed. And next day in the evening I went to him. He said, did you compose the prayer? I said, yes, Baba. Now he says to me, bring. So I went to my room and I brought that poem, song, prayer which I had composed, read out to him. He felt happy, but he was in a very good mood. Very good mood he was. So he started composing. And he would do like this. That was the rhythm. And then of course he would dictate me, I would write, and then by that time another couplet. 21 couplets in no time he composed. And at the end he put my name as if I composed. Now what happened afterwards, still I was working on that book, so I would stay upstairs. And in the morning, Baba had allowed the pilgrims to come there. And Baba's brother's son, his name was Shiv, Baba had asked him to sing that prayer before them. So every day he would do, I did not know. So one day at 3 o'clock, when I got down to go to Baba's room for watch, there were some persons, they were laughing at me. So what's the matter? Why do you laugh? This is the prayer you have composed. I am donkey, I am scorpion, I am snake. This is the prayer. I did not say that it was composed by Baba. I did not say it. And I went to Baba's room. And I said to Baba, Baba, should I change this prayer a little bit? He said, change? Why? I said, I will substitute better words. Baba said, never change it. Not a single word you should change. Keep it as such. You have no idea. This is the only prayer which depicts all pervading nature of God. All pervading nature of God, never change it. So then of course I never changed. Now what happened, Baba dropped his body and pilgrims would go to Merazad. So I was there working for the books given by Baba. So I would not see anyone, my doors would always remain closed. But one day I was going to bathroom and somebody saw me. And of course he says that, I have heard that you are writing, please give me something to read. So I gave that prayer. And I told him, this prayer was composed by Baba himself. So he took, and so many pilgrims were there, they all read, oh, very good prayer. And what happens? That person who was laughing at me, he was also there. So dinner time, we would just meet at dinner time. So he said, oh, this prayer is sublime. Now, this has become sublime. I did not say anything to him, but he was the one who was laughing at me. So Baba also, through Mandi, so many things he has dictated. The nothing and the everything. You just see those 2 stories of the mischievous chicken, and then of course 2 kings. He dictated word by word. And then of course other thing, of course he told me, but not the whole dictation because I know. So how to put it? So he told me that now whether you will say that whether it is from Baba or it is from me. How can you say such a thing? how can I write? Man like policeman, can I write such a thing? So he would ask different persons to write different things, but his help was there. Discourses, of course discourses, it is edited by Dr. Deshmukh in the beginning. So it is given by, Baba will give the discourse from time to time to the people. They were collected. They were collected and then Dr. Deshmukh of course edited. Now, whether you can say that this is from Baba or this is from Dr. Deshmukh, how could he know? So the words are Baba. Particularly what happens, words are there in Bible and Quran and Vedas and Gita. But those words are words. So long they are not put into action, they have no meaning. We just read and become very learned. But these words are given to us so that we may put into action. Whatever words he has given, just like God speaks, the theme of creation, it is so good. He never did this in his previous advent. This time he has made it very, very clear, because now the world is very, very intellect is everywhere, and intellect wants words. So he has given, while observing silence, he has given so many words as he never did in his previous advent. Never. And always this controversy, no, this is not from Baba. Not from Baba, all right, reject. What is there? If the words are good, if you like, put them into action. Put them into action, whether they are good words, so that you may put into action, that you have to see. But people, of course, intellect says that these are Baba's words, and it is so much nowadays that Baba's words. But whether they are in action, these words he has given, so they should be put into action. Otherwise one should not talk. Why make distinction Baba's words? If anything, if it is there and which gives us, that inspires us to put them into action, that is Baba's words. Really speaking, he has done so many things through so many persons. When he would give, Baba would dictate, God speaks. So Ehrach had to write. When he would dictate, he would write. He would write, and I was taking interest. Oh, it is quite a new thing. Rest of the mandali, no, they would not pay attention, because those words were in their action. So they would not pay any action. They would just hear from this ear, they would hear from this ear, they let it go. So this will happen because those words were in their action. So I was taking interest, I was quite new at that time. Oh, something, and I would talk. When people would come, so I would tell them something quite new. And they would feel very, very happy. They would think that this man, of course, he knows. But then actually, I came to know after some years. We were in Satara, and what happens? I would go to sleep. I would not be able to sleep. And Baba Baidul, he was doing must work. Must work, Baba would send him anywhere. He would give direction that you go there and find out the must. You dismiss the must. There is no difference between mad and must. got intoxicated. They look like mad. So then he would go 15 days, 20 days, he would not take anything. Just whatever he would put on, that thing, no shaving shape, no nothing. And of course, 15 days, 20 days, he would move from place to place. He would go to the villages also, and he would find out must, and then he would come and tell Baba the list. Baba said, can you do like him? Can you do like him? Whole night this question, other mandis, can you do like that? Can you do like that? Those who were just dozing when he was dictating God's speech, and I was thinking that, oh, these people, they don't understand. I understood, Erachan understands. And that was a great lesson to me, that the words should be put into action. Those words were already in their action, they did not need. They did not need. So these words he has given so that we may put into action. If we don't put in action, we have to discuss about it. This is good, this is Baba's, this is Mandi has written this. What is there? I don't understand. Now the Bible is there, Quran is there, and then of course Gita is there. So whether we are able to put those words into action, all these priests who talk about that, whether they can put into action. Once it so happened that Baba was in Nasik. Nasik, one of the places where Baba east and west, Mandi from east and west, both were there. And at that time, what happened, there was a religious conference, and delegates from different countries had come. And 3 days conference, big conference, about 300 delegates had come from different countries. After the conference was over, there was Malcolm Sloss, who was a poet, and he was writing poems, and his poems would be printed. So printed means in newspaper and magazines. So one priest came to know that Malcolm Sloss is here. So he came to see Malcolm Sloss. So Malcolm Sloss, he says, what do you do here? So he says that I am with Meher Baba. And Meher Baba, who is Meher Baba? I also want to see him. When you are with Meher Baba and you write such good poems, so I want to see Meher Baba. And he was so happy, Malcolm Sloss. Out of 300 delegates, Baba was not invited in the conference because he was not religious. So he was not invited. So out of 300, only one came here. So he comes to Baba, and Baba, one of course, one clergyman has come and he wants to see you. He attended the conference. Baba said, I have this headache to me. You just talk and send him back. He said, no Baba, he is very much interested. He wants to see you. Baba says, 5 minutes. So he came. And Baba says, I am very happy to see you. Meher Baba, I am also very happy to see you. Baba says, what about that conference? Oh, it went up very well. Baba says, yes, this Sankaracharya, who is the head of Hindu religion, very good man, nice person, but he talks and talks and talks. He says, it was not Sankaracharya, it was me who was talking all the time. And Sankaracharya was sitting like a cat there. Baba says, yes, nice person, but he talks and talks and talks. He said, no, It was me who was talking all the time and Sakracharya could not speak a word before me. Baba says Maulvi, that means Muslim, they call the priest, highest priest, Maulvi. So, nice person, no doubt. But they talk and talk and talk. Meher Baba, I tell you, no one could dare to speak a word before me. All the time I was talking and talking and talking. And they were just sitting there. They had no courage to talk before me. Baba says they are really nice persons. The priest of other religions who were representing there, they came there. They are nice persons. But they talk and talk and talk. You say, what happened to you? I am telling you that no one had any courage to speak before me. I was the person all the time I was talking. And Baba says, they are nice persons, no doubt. Nice persons, but they talk and talk. He says, what happened to you? You don't understand what I am telling. Why don't you talk? So Baba says, I keep silence in my own form because I talk through you all. Talk through you all? What do you mean by that? Yes, I talk through you all, so in my form I keep silence. So I don't understand. What do you mean by this? Baba says, you don't understand because you go to Rome. And I know because I am always at home. Now, Rome means just you follow the ceremonies, rituals and ceremonies in every religion. What is their ritual and ceremony? So Baba says, you don't understand because you go to Rome. And I always know because I am at home. And then Baba said, now 5 minutes over, you go, I am happy to see you. And then he had to do. These words, they should be put into action. Then the words have the will. Otherwise, words are words. So words, that's why Baba has said, God does not listen to the language of the tongue. This is the language of the tongue, if you know the words. God does not listen to the language of the mind, which is meditation, concentration. God listens only to the voice of the heart. So voice of the heart, that is his language. And that language, of course, we have to learn. In order to learn that language, we have to silence our mind. Silence the mind forever. Then only we can hear that voice. Otherwise, no, it is not possible. Anything. I am really very happy, you ask. Very, very happy. That is subject matter heart. That's why I invite questions. Is there anyone? Yes.
Perhaps you could speak to this observation that I have. Read God's speak with His courses, all of His wonderful works. Feed my mind. And I observed today that we all have different opinions and we might disagree on this. But it's Baba's life that feeds my heart. And perhaps you could speak to that.
Whatever is there, of course, Baba's life, you know, there are many things you learn there, and how people were, Baba would treat the people, and different incidents are there in the life of different persons, and that, of course, really touching to you. You like it. But here, just like God speaks, God speaks, God is speaking, but we don't hear. We don't hear. He speaks, He says God speaks. So God is speaking, but we don't hear. And we just go on just thinking about this different interpretation, different thing. So what is the use? You are right, whatever you think. And if it appeals to you, it is all right. Love. Love is required, and this happens because of love. So it is good. But others, of course, oh, I know God speaks. 7 planes and this. Oh, I know this. When God speaks was published, and then there was Sahwas program in Mehrabad, and then four groups according to different language: Gujarati, Hindi, Marathi, and Telugu. So Baba would give anything in English, and then this will be translated into 4 languages. So 4 translators were there. Now what happened? When Baba would say something, they would translate. And God speak has come out. So at night, of course, they went to their tents. So they were talking. That man was translating into Hindi. Oh, his translation was so good. He must be on 5th plane. 5th plane. Then others say, yes, that Marathi, he was also very good. He must be on at least 3rd plane. Then someone, that Gujarati, really very good. He translated in such a sweet language. He must be on 6th plane. So people just talk like this. This is just a talk. There is nothing. When you understand, what will you understand? God cannot be understood. Baba has said that God cannot be understood. God cannot be just discussed. God cannot be analyzed. God can only be experienced. So when experience is there, that is different thing. But if you go on discussing, so that is immaterial, it has no value. But out of love, now we are here. And just like now, I invite questions. So the questions come out of love to know. So that is not bad. But if one thinks that yes, I am very intelligent and I know this, what does he know? To know God, that means to become God. So how? And that's why the words have value when they speak through action. So long they don't speak through action, they are valueless. No value.
Well, can you express about karma? Because my children sometimes ask me questions when they have rough time. They says, why am I going through such a rough time? I said, well, karma. And they have read books that Baba says your thread of karma starts in your first consciousness till you realize God. And they say, well, we don't remember our past life. We don't know what our karmas are. How do we accept it? How do we live with it? It's very difficult.
Karma, that is the deeds which one performs, and this should be according to his divine wish. If you put his divine wish into action, then of course that deed which you perform makes you free from impressions. But whatever you do, you just collect more impressions, you are not free. Baba has said that just remember me. It appears that how this is, there is no penance, no austerity, nothing, and just remember him. So how How it is spiritual? It is not spiritual. If there is penance, silence, if you just keep, that is something. But this is not. Remember me when he has said, if you do it, that is his responsibility because you are following his order. When you are following his order, he is bound to make you free. So simple thing. And for this age, if you just go meditating and this and that, there is a time for that. At least I am not successful. Huh? I don't know anything about others. Once it happened, that it was in the year 1954. So 54, of course, there was declaration meeting. And at that time, Baba had declared that he would be in seclusion for 4.5 months. So nobody should write to him and nobody should come to see him. So his lovers from Hamirpur district, they thought that why not just to have this repetition of God's name. So they formed 12 groups, each group for 2 hours, and this chain was 4.5 months. And they wrote a letter to Baba saying that now we are doing this because you don't allow us to come and see you, you don't allow us to write letters. So before this 7 days means when Baba was to discard the board and enter into seclusion. So they wrote this. And Baba says, just see what my lovers are doing, and you people, you are lazy. You must also do it. And of course do it. And Baba, we had no time to meditate or do this repetition of God's name, no time. But Baba says you must do it, and he allocated the hours. 1 hour to Iraj, 1 hour to Pendu, 1 hour to Gustaji, 1 hour to Vishnu, 1 hour to Dr. Neelu, 1 hour to Aloba, 1 hour to me, 6 hours to Badul, and 24 hours. But my time was very bad. Lunch time and repetition of God's name. So I would sit there and close my eyes and in a posture, and I would start Om Parvam Paramatma, means not loudly, not even one moment. Next moment the thought would come whether the food must be ready. The food must be ready. Om Parvam Paramatma, Om Parvam Paramatma. They must have started eating. Om Parvam Paramatma. And then, of course, whether the food would remain for me so many thoughts at that time, particularly at that time. And I would just, after that, I would feel very much disappointed. Why so many thoughts, particularly at that time, when I repeat God's name? So why does it happen? Then of course, one day I was thinking while doing this, why not I should tell Baba that he should exempt me from this, because I cannot do. When I do, so many thoughts come at that time. So it is better that I should make it very clear to him and ask him to make me free from this. I was just thinking, and someone knocked at my door. And I opened my eyes, Baba was there. And I said to him, Baba, please, just make me free from this because I cannot do it. I get so many thoughts. Baba said, why are you doing? I said, because you have asked. It is your order. Did I ask you to stop your mind? I did not ask to stop your mind. I asked that repeat God's name, and you are doing this. So why do you worry about that? And then Baba gave a very good simile. He says that when there are mosquitoes, so what do? You just at night you fix mosquito net around your bed. And then at night, of course, when you sleep, you go inside and close it. So what happens? Still the mosquitoes, you hear the buzzing sound of the mosquito, but they cannot come and bite you. You are free, but you hear buzzing sound. So also, when you repeat God's name under my order, what happens? Different thoughts, they are like mosquitoes. Desires, they are like mosquitoes. So when you repeat God's name under my order, you just fix the net around your heart. And then you hear the buzzing sounds of the mosquitoes, the thoughts and desires. But they cannot bite you. Why do you worry? Because you are following my order. Don't worry about it. Let them come and let them go. And don't also try to control them, to stop them. Don't try. Let them come, let them go. They come in order to go. So why to stop them? So then of course I continued for 4.5 months. And then the thoughts would come and about the food and this and that. But I would just think that all right. Then I would go, first thing I would just go to the kitchen and food would be there for me. And I would eat. So I think now Dehradun story still remains there. I told some, but there is another story. When Baba had said not to, he would not see anyone, and nobody should be brought here. But every day Kishan Singh would bring news. There was one very intelligent person, very intelligent person. What he did, that he would come and sit by the side of the road. And when Baba would pass through it, of course he would look at Baba. He would look at Baba. And why he would sit by the side of the road? Because that was government property. Nobody could ask him, why are you sitting here? So he was just sitting there, and one day Baba says, who is this man? Every day when I go to the Mandi, of course I see him. And when I go back at that time also, whole day he remains there. Who is that one? So he asked Kishan Singh. And Kishan Singh says, Baba, he loves you very much. He loves you very much. So Baba says, all right, so ask him to come, not close to me, but still at a distance, and look at me. So Kishan Singh told him, and Baba looked at him. Baba says, I am very happy to see you, all right you. Then when Baba returned, he was still sitting there. Still sitting. Next day, still he was sitting there. Harishchandra, do you know Harishchandra? So he would just remain sitting there. Baba says, now what does he want? He called Kishan Singh, what does he want now? Baba, he loves you very much. He loves me very much. All right, call him. So Baba, he was called. He was called and he would come. He came and he said that, Baba says, why are you sitting there? Baba, I love you, I want to see you. So what do you want now? He said, if you allow me to sit like Mandi here, then of course I would feel very happy. Baba says, with one condition, not to say anything about your affairs. Anything, don't talk about it. Don't tell anyone here about it. So you can come, you can just sit here, you can talk with me also, but not your own affairs. Never talk. He said, yes, I will do it. So Baba permitted him. So every day he would come in the morning and go back in the evening. When Baba would go to his own bungalow, then he would go. After a few days, he says to Baba, Baba, tomorrow I will not be able to come. Baba did not ask why. All right, Baba said. So next day he did not come. Again he comes. Again he comes and Baba did not ask why did you not come yesterday. He did not ask. 3-4 times it happened. And one day he says, Baba, tomorrow I will not be able to come. Baba says, all right. He says, Baba, but you know, I cannot live without you. I cannot, but I'm so sorry that I feel very much, I just think about you. And that of course I cannot come here because of some work. Baba says, don't tell me. It is good. It is good. Now Baba did not. Baba says, don't ask me anything, don't tell me anything. Everything I know, everything will be all right. So during our stay there in Dehradun, of course every day he would come and sit near Baba. Then Baba left Dehradun, came back to Satara. And this man, of course, he knew the trick, how to meet Baba. So he came to Satara. And he found out where Baba was living at that time and where is Mandi's bungalow. And he knew that Baba goes to Mandi's bungalow every day. Time also he knew, because in the morning Baba would go. So we were going, and this man was standing under a tree. And Baba looked at him. And Baba says, why did you come? And he says, why did you come? So Aloba, poor Aloba, says, because of love, Baba, he has come. Baba says, because of love. All right, let us go to the bungalow. And we went there. Now Baba says, tell me, why did you come? Baba, the court cases, I feel fed up. And of course, every now and then I have to go to the court, and still of course nothing has happened. Baba says to Aloba, he has come because of love. Now, another thing, he says, Baba, I want to sell my bungalow, but I am not getting good price. Baba tells Aloba, he has come because of love. What else? My daughter Baba, she is suffering from tuberculosis and treatment is going on, but so far of course nothing has happened. Baba tells Aloba, he has come because of love. And what else? He says, Baba, always I am just in difficulty, and of course I just think about you, and you are the only one who can save me from all this. Baba says that you will be, everything will be all right, I am telling you. Everything will be all right, but don't ask when. Everything will be all right. No, Baba, it is now unbearable for me. Unbearable, I can't bear. Can't bear? I am telling you, if you insist upon that, you will forget me. He says, I will never forget. Baba says, it is a question of just nothing. Everything, whatever you want, it will happen. But then you will forget me. He says, I will never forget. Never forget, all right. Wash your feet and come. So he washed his feet, and Baba bowed down to him 101 times. And Baba said, now go. And Aloba says, because of love, so Baba said, you also wash your feet. And he washed his feet, and Baba bowed down to him 7 times. Now he goes there, court cases he won. Then he got very good price of the bungalow. Then his daughter was all right. He goes to Delhi. He got partners, he got the post of manager in one of the biggest hotel there. Bungalow and of course car. And what he forgot? He forgot Baba. He never came. He never came, he would never write anything to Baba. He never did so. Even Baba, when Baba dropped his body, he did not come. He did not come. And then what happens? That just before his death, then he remembered. The compassionate one reminded him, and he was weeping and weeping and weeping, thinking that he said to me that I would forget, and really I forgot. What did I get? Whatever I have got now, I will lose it. I will just leave it and go away, depart forever. So, whatever he says, little thing, we must pay attention to it. Whatever is possible, remember, he has not said anything that you should remember in this way or in that way. Practical way. Practical way, when you are going in the car, yes, long drive for work, at the time at least, once you can remember him. It is not difficult. Practical way. When you are cooking, at that time you can remember him. If you can sing any song while cooking, make it pleasant and sing the song at that time. You can sing in a practical way. You can do that. If there is any picture, look at Baba's picture, you remember him. If you read little thing about Baba, you remember him. All these practical ways are there. Don't spend your time. Don't think that you are not spiritual. You have come to him, you don't know how you have come and what he is doing for you. Just remain, rest assured that beloved can never forget you. You can forget. There was one person, he would always come to Baba. And he would come and he would not go. In 1958 Savas program, he came to Mehrabad and everyone left and he was there. Baba went to him and Baba says, why don't you go? He says, when I go there I forget you. So of course give me the opportunity to be here. So every day of course I will see you. Baba says, if you forget I will remember you. I will remember you, you go. You just see whether I remember you or not. He will never forget anyone. I am telling you, this is not in words. He can never forget anyone. Never. For that purpose he has called you. For this purpose he has accepted you, so that he may forget. He will never forget. Even if you go against his wish, he will never forget you. He is our compassionate Father. Compassionate Father. We are his children but very mischievous. We are not simple. But he can never forget. He is our real Father. So don't think that, oh, I forgot today, I did not remember. You have every right. If you forget and next day if you remember, tell him that yesterday I forgot you to remember. So you are all knowing. Why did you not remind me? Yeah. Why did you not remind me when I forgot? Then he will feel scared and he will remind you. Don't worry. He is so compassionate that there is no question of any fear. Don't think that he will neglect you, he will ignore you. he will never ignore anyone. And how can he ignore when he has accepted you? How? You must have the faith that our beloved, whatever we are, but he is the one who can never forget me. Have this faith and see what happens. Never feel fear. In love there is no fear. Remain bold. Have courage for that. Know well that how fortunate you are that you have got the Almighty, the highest of the high. Then where is the need for any worry? I forget him. I've got so many weaknesses, thousands of weaknesses. If you have, don't worry. Baba has said that this good strain, so in the good strain, the engine is there and different compartments are there. Suppose in one compartment there is gold, in another compartment there is silver, in third there is copper, and in other compartment there is stinking garbage. But what happens when they are attached with the engine? So all the compartments go along with the engine. It does not happen that compartment of gold goes and compartment of stinking garbage remains there. All the compartments go. In the same way, he is our engine. And we are his compartments. Whether we are good or bad, why do you think about good and bad? We should remain attached with the engine. Attached with the engine. And how to attach? Simple thing, remember me. He has said, if you do it, know well that you are attached with the engine and you will also reach the destination. Whatever you are, don't think that I am very bad and I did this and I committed so many sins. So what? The compassionate one, Almighty, He is our beloved. He has accepted us. And where is the room to worry about it? Whatever you are, but you belong to Him. Just have this faith and He is always there. I am telling you, always He will protect you. He will never ignore you. Jai Baba.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to see the tiles that have been created today, just go inside and look on the shelves.
And at night, just watch the show. I like it. Inside, I go like this.
Yeah, I know about X.
Very good. The photos are good. Walmart is serving the Walmart is good. Walmart is good. Weather's a little bit quiet. Weather's doing this, so I want to rain happens on the station. It's coming between. It's not running people. It's not forward. The summer crowd's on. It's running. And the weather can be either way, but I don't know the weather. It's probably not raining. Okay. No, it's coming. Yeah, so it's in between. I'll probably start cooling off until it's so you take a chance and you can rain and snow most of it. It's like the quietest month of the year.